Hello! Today we take you back to the sunshine as we show you our top 5 things to do in Dubrovnik. So all aboard as we sample some of the best of what this amazing city has to offer. If you come to Dubrovnik, you have to walk round the historic walls. It's about 2 kilometres and we're going to do that today. So we are here for the walls opening, and as you can see, lots of other people had exactly the same great idea. And we're also suffering a little bit because it was Bexy's birthday yesterday, so a bit delicate this morning, both of us. The path round the top is quite narrow, so it's one way, so we are going that way. This is one of those things that you're never ever going to get any sort of peace and quiet. It's always going to have thousands of people in it. I mean, these people must have been queuing up from 7:30 to get up here first, and that just means there's a massive clot that goes all the way along there and all the way up there. Oh, sea kayaking, we are doing that later on today. That will be an experience, hopefully a good one. Meet little Lego, Dizzy and Bex. These little dudes come with us on all of our adventures and we photograph them wherever we go, or I photograph them. Bex usually hides. So this is the first corner of the walls and the first fort that we're going to get into, so this will be interesting, I suppose. By the time you've seen the fourth one, probably not quite so interesting, but hey ho. It's all very narrow. I'm going to spend most of the day looking at Bexy's bottom. And out onto a platform-y thing. Oh, this is quite cool, isn't it? You get quite a good view from up there. There's the bay and there's the other fort, and yeah, this is quite nice. And there's even more tourists. I wonder when you'd have to come here to have no tourists.
Middle of the night?
Yeah, probably never. You'd have to break in. Oh look, there's some cannon, but you're not allowed to go and play with them. There's all sorts of little cubby holes and bits that you can't get into, like down there. There's an authentic 13th century hat, which has fallen off an authentic 13th century tourist. Quite impressive though, it's quite liking this. It's only the first few hundred metres though. We'll see how we get on after 2 kilometres. By which point even I will have run out of things to say. You do get quite a good view. That's where we started, over there. And that's where we're going to finish, up there. So very nice. Now we've got more stairs to go up, unfortunately. This whole part of the old city is not one that you see from ground level, so it's nice to get up here and look at it from on high. It's like being in a drone. Oh, more steps. You know what that means. It's time for a fast forward. And done fast forward. There's somebody with a great little marketing ploy. There's a wee shop at the top of that flight of stairs. I bet they do a roaring trade. And there's the world's longest selfie stick again. It's like carrying a golf club about you. If you want proof that this place is still lived in, there's somebody's washing line. Bex will be happy, she likes a washing line. We know what it's like living in a tourist attraction because we live in Methil. Although to be fair, we once saw a tourist in Methil, it turned out he was lost. Very lost. And the procession of people processing past are all processing past that person's underwear. Oh, and 200 metres further on, there's another wee cafe and an art shop, handmade in Dubrovnik. Bex has just seen the phrase art shop and is off like a rocket. It's very dark, but I have got sunglasses on, I can't see a thing. And this trying to talk more slowly is harder than it sounds. There is a running event they do here called Run the Walls, which I'm guessing does not happen in the middle of July. But you actually go round the route we're doing, but you run it. And we thought, it's only 2 kilometres, it can't be that hard. Now we've figured out there are so many steps, it would be brutal. Oh, and more of the local tourist attractions. Hello, pussycat. The cats here are allegedly descended from cats that were brought here centuries ago, so they're the great grand kittens of a famous historical pussycat. Well, there was a sailing ship sitting out there called the Windsurf. It's a sailing ship, but it's a modern one because it's got computer-controlled sails that furl and unfurl and all that gubbins themselves. So that must be quite a good way to see the area. You sail to Dubrovnik and you sail to Split and you go around the Adriatic in a sailing ship. That would be lovely. I'm just going for a pee-wee. Bex, there's no paper! And that mad woman swinging her selfie stick is behind us again, so we'll keep going this way. quite quickly.
It's a bit like a conveyor belt though, isn't it? Because you've got to just keep going, you can't really stop and take pictures because there's loads of people behind you.
Yeah, it's the one-way system is a good idea in some ways, but you think you just want to stop and have a wee look, but you can't, because if you do, hold up the entire queue. You get a nice view of Lokrum Island from over here, which you'll see in our previous episode, or our next episode, or maybe this episode, depending how this all ends up getting edited, but we have been there and we'll show you that, honest. Right, now we've got past the basic level botany, doing things by colour. That over there, we can tell you for a fact, is a big pink bush. So that's a big pink bush, not to be confused with a small pink flower. You deliver beer with a winch. We do have these little bars at every corner, so although it's very hot outside, you do get a chance to stop, but we're not stopping because we want to get this done and then go and get some breakfast. And I'm probably getting a copyright strike for the music in the background because it is a bit blooming loud. And there's the vista of the hillside, and there's the other. You see how far you've come, because there's the corner where we started, way over there, so we must be about halfway. Oh, and finally a cannon. That's what we came here to see. We're now on top of the fort that we've seen a few times from the outside. This is the one that guards the harbour, and up there is Fort National, which is kind of important to the Croats from the War of Independence, and down there is the harbour, as promised. I think because it is quite early, there's not actually a lot of people up here. It's just when they're all compressed onto the little walkways, it looks like there is, because in this bit it's, as you can see, fairly quiet and not many people about at all. But that could be because it's stupidly warm. And they are having a wee moment. It's Bex enjoying the peace and quiet until I come back and spoil it. And down there is a guillotine. Now I'm going to go right out on a limb and say that's not original. Some bits of boats. There's a bit of a boat, and there's an anchor, and there's an anchor, and an anchor, and an anchor, and a cannon. So don't say I don't know all the correct terminology. A slightly different perspective on the harbour, but yeah, this place is just quite nice, as we keep saying. I'm going to need new words, I've said that before. I thought I was going to stop saying nice when I came to Dubrovnik, but you can't, because it is. And the further up these stairs you get, the better the view. I think it's definitely getting a bit warmer than it was when we started. This has got, alright, the last flight of stairs, and then there's a fort. I don't know how many of these panoramas I can actually show you without you getting really bored, but every time you climb another flight of stairs you get a better and better view. I am the absolute king of the castle. This is the highest point on the whole fort, and you're not allowed up here, so I better get down before I get shouted at. But that's the view from the very, 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 very top of the fort, which is there. So this is the last chance to faceplant going down the stairs. Bexy's phone keeps talking to her, telling her how far we've walked. We don't know how to turn that feature off because we're not very bright. And on the downward slope to the exit. I could ask Bex if she wants to go round again, but I think I can probably guess the answer, because my answer would also be no, thank you very much. And at number 4 on our list of essential things to do in Dubrovnik is get the number 6 bus to the seaside and go for a swim in the sea. And judging by the queue for the bus, lots of people had the same idea. And we are off the bus somewhere. We just followed everybody else. They all got off, so we got off. We are expert travellers. Where are we? And people might think we don't know where we're going, but we do. We're going this way. No idea where it goes to, but this is the way that we're going. So this place that we are visiting is called La Pad, apparently. No idea where that is, but if you want you can go and look it up on a map. It is a short bus ride away from the old town. That's all we can tell you. And hopefully it's got a beach. Oh, Sunset Beach. That sounds nice. And just for that authentic Croatian experience, there is the Celtic bar Belfast. And things that we don't miss are kids like that on electric scooters and people shouting at their phones. And at the moment we've got both those. Definitely a tourist destination. They've got all the tourist tat you get every seaside in the whole wide world. This is all really nice, and for the height of summer, quite quiet. I thought there'd be a lot more people here.
With hindsight, we would have booked to stay here and then just go along to the old town for a day or two.
Yeah, I think so. I think the old town's all very good, but once you've done it 2 or 3 times, like first time you walk into it, you're like, oh my god, this is so amazing. Second time you're like, yeah, it's alright. And the third time you're like, Me, another very ugly piece of Croatia, but we're going to go and try and find a spot on that beach which looks quite full of people. So this is the lovely water where we've been swimming for the last hour, and I've been doing lots and lots of wonderful footage for you good people. Unfortunately, this flaming camera decided to put itself into time-lapse mode, which means we just wasted the last hour of our life, and this is the result that we got. So we'll have to go back in the water and do it all again. What a shame. Right, we've got no idea where this path actually goes, but we are following it because we are tourists and we're probably going to get lost again. But sometimes the journey is more important than the destination, because this is a really, really nice walk. Okay, the temperature's cracking on towards 40 degrees, but it's still a nice walk. And you're probably getting used to the sight of this ridiculous hat by now. That is definitely pink ones, and that is definitely a blue sea. There is Bex working flat out on this episode. Yeah, that was the moment that Dizzy and Bex both drowned. Don't laugh, Bex, don't laugh, it's not funny. If you go down to the Adriatic today, you'll probably not want to get out. Yeah, we've had planes and we've had automobiles. Today it's time for a boat. We're going on a wee sail across the bay to the island of, I can't remember. Lokrum Island. We're going to Lokrum. I knew that. That's I didn't just make that up as I went along. I actually know where we're going. Don't I?
Yes, you do.
Captain Man has put his shirt on, so I think we'll be getting on the boat soon. We thought we were doing quite well seeing a couple of fish the other day. There are thousands. Some of them are quite big. You do get a cracking view of the walls of the fort from out here. That is, yeah, they look impressive from the other side, but they look even better from out here. So we are on Lokrum Island, and there's a list of places that you can go and visit, including the monastery complex at the top and Fort Royal at the bottom. And Bex is already off up the hill to see what she can find. Because it's Bex's birthday, we've gone to the Botanic Gardens and not the fort, but it's her birthday, so Botanic Gardens first, then fort. We're really enjoying all the pretty flowers in the Botanic Garden. We've been here now for a while. Oh, there's a flower, there's a flower, there's a flower. Look, that is the only flower in the Botanic Garden, and that is a clump of very, very small pink ones. It's actually called a Budleja Davididididi. It's called that, but anyway, it's from Tibet and it is the only flower we can actually see. Further botany, there is some white flowers on this palm tree, and they are crawling with little flying things that probably bite, so I'm now going to back off quite quickly. There's some proper cartoon Arizona desert cactus. The sort of thing that Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner are always encountering. I would imagine the way things are just now, with it being very hot and very dry, wildfires are a real possibility that would absolutely devastate this place. So lots of signs saying no smoking, no fires for the really, really stupid who might light a fire here. It's only Bex's love of forts that has got us this far. It can't be much further to the top, and then it will be downhill all the way. Come on, Mr. Butterfly, flutter your flies. There you go. Oh, finally we get one that sits still for us. Hello, Mr. Butterfly. Bye. Flight of stairs into a fort. You know what that means. Fast forward. And fast forward. Okay, that was worth it for the view. There's that big posh cruise ship, and down there are some very, very luxurious looking private yachts, and over there is the old town of Dubrovnik. I think that might have been the facilities for the people that were on guard duty. This is such a cool wee fort. Well worth the effort of climbing that hill, even in sort of 35-degree temperatures. Just to cover all the bases, if you think, well, I'm not allowed to smoke cigarettes or light fires, that's fine. I smoke a pipe. Not allowed. This is the Triton Memorial to the Austro-Hungarian warship Triton that sunk just over there somewhere. And the Archduke himself came to see what had happened, because obviously being an Archduke, he'd be some sort of expert. Anyway, they built this cross as a memorial to the men that died, and the Archduke liked it here so much that he bought the island. And reading that thing back there was one survivor from the Triton, and he apparently had been arrested on the boat before it blew up and was in chains when it went up. So So how he survived, don't know, but he's the man that got the blame. And there's the wee Scala leaving. It just bimbles backwards and forwards all day, but we're not going back over yet. We're going to go and find somewhere for something to drink, because it is a bit warm. I am an adult, and if I want a Calippo slushy, I will have a Calippo slushy. The peacocks are getting a bit up close and personal. I think they must be the equivalent of cats on this island. And there's a baby peacock. Hello baby peacock, how are you? I don't have anything for you, but just you stand there and look cute. This is part of the old monastery, I think, but we'll find out when we get inside. Bex has disappeared down a flight of stairs that I'm now going to fall down. I've got a bit of a sound and light thing going on. This is such a cool place, all these subterranean chambers. Very nice. All part of the original church that was built. Bex is super excited. She's got no idea why she's sitting there, but I bet nobody's ever looked happier to be sitting on the Iron Throne. Yeah, and just to show they can't get the story straight, over there it says that this island is named after Richard the Lionheart's haven, and...
No, it's named after the citrus fruits that were planted here.
Alright, so it's either Richard the Lionheart or it's an orange. You can...
Or a lemon.
Or a lime.
Or a lime.
If you're being pedantic about citrus fruits,
Take your pick.
take your pick. You enjoying all these stairs? Today is going to be a day of ups and downs. Yeah, and predictably we've started off by getting lost. We're aiming for the starting point for the cable car, and I think we've come the wrong way, because this just looks like a road. Albeit a road with some very interesting bridges. Yeah, I don't think this is right. I better go back and find Bex, who's wondering where I've gone. Is that a new record for getting lost?
Yeah, I think so.
Not bad, eh? We've not even got to the bottom of the stairs yet and we're lost. And a weather update, it's still really, really warm and getting warmer. Yeah, unfortunately the bad news about it not being up that hill is I think it's up those stairs. Oh, we're only up the stairs and not even on the cable car yet, but look at that view, that is quite impressive. They could have made the cable car a few hundred metres longer and saved you having to walk up all these steps. Oh, and there's all those arches we were just looking at down there from above. The architecture is quite imposing, I think you'd say. If anything, it's even more impressive from up here. And out in the bay there's some poor man's cheap yacht. Oh, and behind it there's another really, really cheap yacht. Yeah, lots of millionaires about today, I think. After only a couple of wrong turnings, there's the cable car station there. Oh, it looks a bit high tech, doesn't it? And there's some pretty flowers. In our naming scheme, those are pink ones. So we're now quite a long way above the old town, and we're about to get a lot more above the old town. That didn't make sense. We're now a long way above the old town, and we're about to get even further above the old town. Oh my wow, look at that. Finally I get to do my joke I've been waiting for since we got here. How many mountain peaks can you see out there? I reckon there are 101 Dalmatians. Dalmatians, get it? Dalmatians mountains, get it? Get it?
Yeah, get it.
Why aren't you laughing? Why are you not laughing?
I don't know.
From up here it's not exactly an ugly place, is it, Bex?
No, it's beautiful.
You have to agree that is quite a nice view. We don't get many views like that in Scotland, with the blue skies and the sunshine and the mountains and the twinkling, sparkling sea. This is just amazing. And increasingly amazingly warm. Oh, it's decision time. But not a difficult decision. 2 cups of coffee, please. And we are off down the hill, which appears to have cars coming up, so this may be less interesting than we thought, because we're going to get run over. This is the top of the road with the stations of the cross on it. This is obviously a cross. Our botany lessons continue. Here are some thistles. The national plant of Scotland, and on top of a mountain in Croatia. This is a really tight and quite a busy road. There's cars rattling up and down it for people that don't want to use the cable car, I guess. The crickets are making an awful lot of noise. I wonder how much money's worth of private yachts there are in that little bit down there, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 millions of pounds. But I bet that is, yeah, can't even imagine what they're like on board. At this point, walking down the road, we had not seen any of Dubrovnik's stations of the cross, so I think we're a bit lost. Let's go back up the hill. Well, that's helpful. At least we know we're going the right way. Somebody's spray painted Old Town Dubrovnik on that little building. Thank you very much, whoever that was. And predictably, it turns out that road we were just walking down is not the correct path, because that road is a road with lots of traffic, like we said, and this is a really pretty tree-lined path. I am quite glad that the idea of walking up this was vetoed, because it's hard enough walking down. We've only got to go all the way down there. This is number 14 on the Stations of the Cross, because we're doing them backwards from top to bottom, and we might not be doing them all. Right, I don't know how many of these we're going to get done, because it's getting hotter and hotter. This was not the best of times to come out, so we're going to crack down, but there you are, number 13. You have to keep stopping to get a wee look at the view. It's just, I know, you've seen it enough by now, you're probably getting fed up with it, but we quite like it. And there is number 12. Onwards and, well, downwards. Number 10, only 9 to go. Right, that's the last one of these that I'm filming, because it's just getting too warm. At least the view's there to make you feel happy. There's people walking up the way. I would much rather be going down the way than going up the way. There's a person down there walking up. And that is, having skipped a few, number 2. And down at the bottom of the hill there, past Bex, there is number 1. So we're almost at the bottom of this trail and these nice Stations of the Cross things. We are at number 1 and we've been lied to because it's not the bottom of the hill. We've still got to go down here. About an hour and a half later, we have made it to the bottom of the hill. All I can say is thank the Lord for bottles of water in the bag and the silly hats, because that was a bit hot and a bit sweaty.
Pretty though.
Pretty, very pretty. This is the last day of our little trip. Boo! But to celebrate, we're really pushing the boat out. Literally. Clever, eh? Clever, pushing the boat out, eh? Clever. Yeah. One of them is the boat that we will be pushing out. It's obviously a professional organisation. They've got their own water bottle. I hope so. We hope so.
Your kayak will be turning left. If you want to go right side, you pedal on your left side. And your kayak will be turning right.
Watch your back. Here on the good ship Scotland on a shoestring, we're falling out already and we're not even out the bay yet.
When I put my pedal like this, you stop your kayak behind.
Captain Bex is in command of our wee boat. Now you'd think that kayaking would be a good way to get away from it all, but it's very, very popular here in Dubrovnik, and there are lots and lots of kayak companies and lots of people on the water. There's that yacht we keep seeing from close up. Well, we'll have a story to tell when we get home. And this is our stopping point for a bit of lunch, by which they mean 2 bananas. Apparently it is a 9k kayak. We've done 3 and we're both absolutely knackered. And there is our quiet, secluded little bay, and there's us, who are both really trying to convince ourselves that we want to do another 6 kilometres. This is the elegant way to get off that big rock we just climbed up from Bex. Show people how to get off the big rock.
It's a bit scary.
It's a wee bit scary, it's a big bit scary. Up on top of that hill we have the display of alpha male. They're all jumping off. I am not an alpha male, I am a beta old man. I'm not jumping off those rocks. Fortunately, I am immune to peer pressure. The alpha males are now the ones that are really brave have done it, and the other 3 are not quite as alpha male as they thought they were. Alas, our secluded bay was not secluded for very long, owing to the arrival of another group of people in kayaks. Flippin' tourists. It's nice and peaceful here, apart from the fact that there's about 30 people, so not quite as nice and peaceful as you might think. That is our shore leave. It just about come to an end, and now they're going to have a democratic vote on which way they go back, the short way or the long way. Speaking on behalf of me and her over there, I hope they vote for the short way. Quite a scenic spot really, this, isn't it? If you like vertical cliff faces. We are back on the good ship Scotland on a shoestring, and we're going to go from here round that island over there, like the far side of it. So if it goes a bit wrong, we are going to end up in Italy. Wish us luck. Just looked up and saw that really nice view of that yacht going through the sunlight on the water, but unfortunately I couldn't find the camera, so we have missed it. You'll just have to use your imagination. And we are now in the middle of the sea. and the alpha males are at the front as always. Sorry, I'm not skiving off from the paddling. I'm doing a panorama of the sun going behind Lokrum Island, and then over there is Dubrovnik. What a cracking way to spend an evening. We can recommend going on a kayak trip, as long as you're reasonably fit, which I'm not entirely sure I am. Fortunately, Bex is working like an engine, and I'm filming, so I'm not actually doing any of the work. Happy birthday to you. We're out in a canoe. Well, I know it's a kayak. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! Our tour guide Marco has just said we can go into the cave, so we're going in for a wee look. Alright, so that is the cave, and Bex is motoring ahead to go and visit it. What a phenomenal way to spend an evening. That cave is obviously only accessible by boat, so we're the only people here apart from hundreds of other boats. And the alpha male is about to jump off a big cliff to prove he is the alpha male.
Look at that view with the sun, isn't it gorgeous?
That's quite impressive, isn't it? And a little fleet of kayaks heading back towards base. And once again, Bex is doing all the work and I'm doing all the filming and talking. I like this new aspect to our relationship, but I suppose I better start pedaling. Pedaling? I might have meant paddling. This is some of the best photos of you that I've ever got. You are paddling off into the sunset. Look at the sun, and oh, this is just gorgeous. And also quite hard work, but mostly gorgeous. I'm filming, I'm not relaxing, I'm filming. I'm doing my job, you do yours. Paddle. Best thing of the holiday?
Yeah.
Think so? Are you ready for your photo shoot with Marco, Rebecca?
Yes, I am.
You like Marco, don't you?
I think he's good at his job, yes.
That looks just amazing, doesn't it? That's been a magical experience. Don't say Scotland on a shoestring, don't take you to pretty places and show you pretty things. Bye bye son, see you tomorrow. There is our trusty chariot returned to its resting place, and there is the bottle of wine that you get with the little excursion that we've been looking forward to for the last 3 hours. And that is our little kayak safari done and done. It's been a really good experience, Bex. One word?
Amazing.
Awesome. And that is that. We really hope you've enjoyed this run through of our favourite things to do in the wonderful city of Dubrovnik. And as usual, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon for more Scotland on a shoestring.
You forgot all that gubbins.
Oh, like, subscribe and all that gubbins. Bye!
Bye!